So this is the new Tesla CyberTruck. It's definitely different looking. I had the chance to go to the unveiling last night and even go for a test drive in it. So today we're gonna take a closer look at the new CyberTruck. Okay, I'm on my way to the design studio. I don't think anyone lives close to it, so thank God for autopilot because this is gonna be a lot of traffic. So as I was heading there, I took a look at some of the renderings, some of the predictions of what the truck would look like. And all of them did look just like a normal pickup truck and a little more futuristic. So here were some of the renderings going around on the internet, some of them cooler looking than others. So this is kind of, I think, what people were expecting, and none of these really are even close to what we actually saw. They looked pretty cool, but these are just renderings done by kind of random people. No one really knows what the truck actually looks like, and they did an amazing job of keeping that top secret. Like, no one actually leaked what it looks like. So I think we're all in for a shock once we got there.
Welcome to the CyberTruck unveiled.
So he started the presentation out talking about how pretty much all trucks look the same. So I think they're kind of preparing us for something totally different because this truck looks nothing like any other truck.
Where'd the logos go?
It's actually hard to tell. It's hard to tell which is which, really. We took the brands off, but it's hard to tell which is which.
And then they talked about how pickup trucks use a lot of gas, obviously, and if we don't have an electric pickup truck, then of course there's still going to be people buying them, consuming a ton of gas. And now the part that we're all here for, the first look at the car. I'm just going to let the audio play so you guys can hear the crowd reaction, and here it is. Of course, everyone was super excited to see it, but then there was kind of that pause where no one was really saying anything. I think everyone was kind of like, wait, is this actually it? Like, is this really the truck?
And this is the actual truck.
Or are they going to bring out the real one? But this is it. This is the CyberTruck. It is just a total shock. I was not really expecting this. So my initial reaction, I was just like, what? No, they'll bring out the real truck in a second. Like, whatever this thing is just like a joke. And then they didn't. You have to respect the bold choice though, right? Like, they really did not play it safe. Respect for that. So basic facts about the truck. It does technically have 6 seats, but it's more of a comfortable 5, with a middle seat in the front that probably wouldn't actually get used a whole lot. They really emphasize that the materials used to make this car are really strong, some of them the same as they use on the SpaceX rockets. And we can see with their sledgehammer tests, it totally dents up this truck, but it's pretty insane when they hit the Cybertruck, it doesn't do anything at all to it. And this is because rather than aluminum, it's made out of stainless steel, which looks really cool and is clearly very, very strong. When you really think about it, it kind of reminds me of a freezer. And then there's the windows, which rather than glass is actually transparent metal, which is supposed to be really, really strong.
Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
So it did break the glass, but honestly, this would break the glass of any car, and I did hear people kind of whispering about that they had actually been doing this to the car all day, so that could be why it broke finally. They just had done it so many times that it broke, but they did show some other tests where they would drop this metal ball onto the glass. On all of these, it didn't break. All in all, I'm sure this glass is a lot stronger than any other truck, but it really is too bad that it broke. I mean, that's kind of awkward. Some people thought it was a PR stunt. I don't know. I think they really just did not realize that was gonna happen. So the outside, you might love it or hate it. It's polarizing, whatever. But no one can really argue with the specs. They're pretty impressive. The car goes 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Car, I meant truck. The truck goes 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. I mean, I feel like that's pretty unheard of. I'm not a truck expert, but when I did some Googling, pretty hard to find a truck that fast. So really impressive that it can go that fast. And beyond that, it's just a powerful truck. They did a tug of war against a Ford F-150, and the Tesla won pulling it up a hill. So that is pretty crazy. They said it can tow up to 14,000 pounds. To put that into perspective, that's about 3 Ford F-150s. All right, about to go for a test ride in the truck. Here it is, right here. So now let's take it for a test drive. So obviously it's very spacious in here and very simple, futuristic. The steering wheel is similar to the Roadster. They call this a yoke steering wheel, which is kind of interesting. It has the same sort of screen as a Model 3, but a little bit bigger, and this cool kind of black and white interior. I like how it's kind of black and white. I think it looks really cool. And one thing I thought was really interesting is that the rear view mirror is not a mirror, it is a screen with a backup camera. I've never seen that before in a car, so it really stuck out.
Look at that.
That's so marble. What the heck
Everyone
is
keeps
that?
saying it's marble, yeah.
It looks like marble.
This is so different.
So obviously it was pretty dark out, so my footage in here kind of sucks, but it had a very futuristic feel to it. And then they went ahead and accelerated 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. It honestly felt like a roller coaster. I've never been in a car that fast, so it was pretty crazy to me, especially because it is such a large vehicle. I love the LED lights in the bed of the truck. I think that looks really nice, but not totally sure how I feel about this marble countertop. Because it was so dark, I didn't get a great shot of this, but here's a photo that shows it a little better. As you can see, it looks like a slab of marble. I couldn't feel if it actually was real marble. It looked kind of cool. I actually did like the interior of the car. I like how minimal everything is. I thought the steering wheel was cool, very futuristic. The UI was different. It looked more advanced. That will probably change anyway. Like, that will definitely just be more advanced in a couple years. Probably the craziest thing about the car, other than the exterior, is the price. The whole time I was thinking, okay, this has got to be like 60,000 plus. Like, just the amount of material that they use to make it, I feel like it's gotta be expensive. Definitely more than a Model 3. So I was shocked to see that it is the same price as a Model 3. I think everyone was pretty shocked by this. Of course, there are other options that are more expensive, but I thought that the base was going to be at least 60,000. So I think this price is really competitive, even though it's kind of a weird car. So of course, at first, everyone is just kind of like, no. Well. So now the real question we're all wondering, are people actually going to buy this car? Or is it going to totally flop and Tesla's going to go out of business and your Tesla stock is going to be worth nothing, and then you won't be able to charge your car because all the superchargers will be gone? I have a small amount of insight just based on everybody at this event. Everyone kind of went from being like, not for me, to actually pre-ordering one. I think this will be a common thing over the next couple years while people simmer on it and then see it in person. I think that it will actually grow on people. The other competitors for electric pickup trucks like Rivian are way more expensive. There are so many other cars that are kind of weird looking that have caught on, like the Volkswagen Bug. When you think about it, it's kind of a weird looking car, but they're pretty common for a long time. Hummers, even G-Wagons, they're just very different looking than other cars, but we've all accepted them as like cool looking cars. I posted it on my Instagram story to get everyone's initial reaction. And, you know, a lot of people weren't loving it, which does not shock me. But some people really do. It just is polarizing. Some people are like, love it, I totally am pre-ordering one. I did think also it just looked better in person. Like when it rolled up to actually go for a test drive, you're like, oh wait, this is pretty cool looking. But then when I got home and looked at it online, I was like, okay, like I can see how it doesn't really look as cool in pictures, especially from that side view. It's more of when you see it on the street that you're like, wow, like it's kind of cool. So all in all, I am rooting for the Tesla truck. I think we just saw it at a really bad angle. Like, we all have unflattering angles, so I think we should give it another chance. I actually think that most people would agree that in person, it is more impressive looking. And a little bonus, they also had an ATV that actually docks into the bed of the truck and can start charging right from there. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so that is my first impression of the Cybertruck. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. I mean, be totally honest. I think a lot of people were hoping for something similar to the renderings, and it obviously did not meet that expectation. So they're kind of like, what? I almost think it would be more well received if they just hadn't even called it a truck, because it doesn't really look like a truck. They could have just called it like a Earth spaceship or something. So that's it for today. If you guys want to check out more Tesla related videos, I'll link them all down below because I have a bunch of them, and I will see you guys in my next video.